Alright, YouTube, wanted to shoot a video of my 20-gallon high-tech planted tank, show off some of the plants I'm going to be growing, and that way in a few months or whenever the tank looks like it's grown in nicely, I will do an update video. But I just redid this entire tank last week, full breakdown, bleached everything, cleaned everything, due to the fact that I introduced some corkscrew valve into my old scape. It was a potted plant out of the one of the local fish stores, and it had blue-green algae, which I was unaware of course, when I bought it. Spread to the tank, tried battling it for months and months and months, kind of gave up, and finally got around to redoing the tank. Of course, I had plenty of aquariums, so it was no problem sterilizing the entire tank and putting, new media in, swapping out some of the media in, and that's why I already have fish in here already. Plant-wise, I went with only 3 bunches of plants because this is a small tank and in a high-tech system. Yes, it takes patience to get things growing and taking off, but once they do, one issue I've ran in with this tank time and time again is that it just gets overgrown to the point where it doesn't look nice. So I decided to control myself, stick with 3 plants, and first and foremost, I knew I wanted to do baby tears. Carpeted baby tears just looks beautiful. I want the entire front to be covered in baby tears, and this looks to be growing very nicely. It's not spreading or anything after only 1 week, but the tips look good and healthy, like it's growing, as well as the little stems are shooting off roots into the ground, so that's exactly what we want to see. Second species of plant I got, which I wasn't expecting to buy. I was going to do something like a crypt, but then I was at the fish store, and the owner of the store was explaining to me these parviflorus, I believe that's what they're called, parviflorus sword plants. They're one of the smallest sword species, only growing about 5-6 inches tall, especially in a high-tech system with decent lights. And they have small half-dollar shaped rounder leaves than most sword species. A lot of the growth we're seeing on these 2 plants right here is emerged growth, so that's why it is a little bit tall and looks a little bit weird, but again, new plant, new leaves growing in. That's exactly what we want to see. Soil is just this sand for now. Once the swords start to develop a little bit more, I will put a root tab under each of the plants, because they are big root feeders. And yeah, I really like this because, again, going back to control crypts, yes, they grow slow, but they're hard to hold back. So I was going to plant something like a crypt Wenti red, because I wanted something other than green, but they're very hard to hold back once the roots start to develop, because you essentially have to rip up the roots to trim it. Just trimming the leaves doesn't do anything. So these should be a little bit more manageable, and still very nice. Third plant, and I'm super excited about this one. Had no idea this plant existed until I saw it. This is Ludwigia SP White. So I definitely want to do something with a little bit of color in this tank, being a high-tech system. I was thinking of getting a red plant, but when I saw this, I fell in love. Of course, this is also emerged growth, and I saw this in the tank and I was like, that looks terrible. Why are you suggesting I get this? Then I looked up a picture of how it looks when it's grown submerged. It has very thin leaves and looks exactly like Rotala wallichi, except the leaves are white and the tips are a pinkish red. And already on these stems, we're starting to see it switch from emerged to submerged growth at the tips, as well as where there's leaves, we're seeing roots come out from the stems. Yes, the stems are dying, but I mean, this is emerged growth, so of course that's going to die off. But really looking like it's coming in nicely. I'm always a little bit weary buying emerged grown plants. I do like and prefer to buy plants that have already been grown submerged. But those are the 3 plants. I'm really hoping that this SP White does well to the point where I can trim it and actually grow it really thick here in the back, maybe even bring it up closer to the swords a little bit. Maybe plant some here, have it grow through the driftwood. Other than that, I will touch on a little bit. I mean, this is just, of course, spiderwood, piece of spiderwood. The rocks are red jasper. And the fish, I have a trio of female betas, Galaxy Koi, female. This is a dragon scale celestial beta. And this, of course, is just a platinum white female beta. Other than these 3 betas, which are in here, I've got 5 cherry barbs in quarantine that will be going into this tank as a little bit of a little dither fish. And then I will be bringing back my rubber lip pleco once the tank is a little bit more established. He's in the quarantine tank as well. Setup on this tank is very stupid simple. CO2, obviously, 5-pound cylinder right here. A little tiny 50-watt heater. And an aqua clear. I believe this is a 30. It may be a 20, but I'm pretty sure this is the 30 size. And right now I've got this water bottle impeding the flow only because I don't want these baby tears to be uprooted from the flow. Once these baby tears start to develop roots and can grab onto the sand, I'll be removing that water bottle and getting more flow in the tank. Other than that, it's just water change every week, at least 25%, 25 to 40%. I dose about 1 mil of XL in this tank every day, unless I don't get around to it. I mean, I do have the CO2, so no problem if I, skip out on that. But I do love doing that, especially when the tank is just planted like this. Helps the plants do well and start to grow, as well as keep the algae down, because these plants are just beginning to grow. They're not absorbing nutrients like a lush jungle planted tank would. So I like doing that, especially at the beginning. I may dial that back down once the tank gets established. And then other than the XL, it's just the regular Flourish, Fluval Flourish liquid fertilizer. I dose about 1.5 mil once a week right after my water change. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like the tank. And like I said, in maybe a few months, just depending on when this tank starts to look good and growing a little bit, I will shoot another video and give you guys an update. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.